two Hondas going at it. He's not the only one. Look out. Carnage. Ricky Carmichael hits the hay bale. Hello, everybody. Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Davey Cole from the rolling hills of southwestern Pennsylvania, High Point Raceway. It is round 3 of AMA Chevy Trucks U.S. Motocross Championship Series. A good crowd on hand despite threatening skies. A chance of 80% rain. The rain has let up temporarily, and we're ready to go racing with 2 different divisions, 125 and the 250s, 2 motos each. And don't forget our innovative cable cam.
I love that thing, and it's been jamming back and forth while they've been practicing with it. Here's a look at the track, the start, over there off to the right, the big left-hand sweeper. The track has stayed the same through the years. It's a good one. They don't want to mess with it. All they've done is clear some trees and make it more spectator-friendly, and we're going to highlight some portions of the track and let Davey Coombs give us a closer look.
Hey, here's the step down. You have to get a rhythm going. You want to get your front wheel over as many as you can. Keep your back end from picking up. Cause you maybe an end of little stadium section. No rhythm through there for me, guys. Sorry. Now this is really tricky off camera here. You got to try to keep on the high side. They got a berm down low. As you can see, it's real rutted out. Down to the bottom. Cross the stall done. Now on top side of the track. Actually the fastest part. Up over a little double end. Now this is Bradshaw Boulevard. Coming down pit road. Little jump though. A little bit for me.
Davey ought to know he grew up on this track and his family's promoting this race. Grant Langston, as we take a look at the Suzuki 125-point standings, has a 28-point lead, winning all 4 previous motos.
I've had a good start to the season, like I said. Four good motos, and I cut out as many mistakes as possible. And you know, when everyone was having one good race, one bad race, I was able to come out with, you know, both motos on both days were pretty good. So it's helped now because I have a pretty healthy points lead.
I think the biggest thing for me is just getting out in that start. I mean, my Suzuki is really flying out there. They really got the thing dialed in, but I just have to stay out of the first turn pileups. And, you know, I feel like I can run Langston's pace if I can get up there. But, I mean, Langston, it's unbelievable. No one expected him to win all the first 4 motos. And hopefully, we need to stop a streak here pretty soon, and I hope to be the one that does it.
Only 3 125 riders have opened the season with 3 consecutive overall wins. It is a tough thing to do. Ricky Carmichael, Mark Barnett, Bob Hanna all the way back in 1976. Those were the 3 to do it as we take a look at our Suzuki starting grid. Grant Langston, the points leader. Travis Pastrana trying to pick up some points on that leader. Blake Brown coming off a tough luck race last week. Ernesto Fonseca trying to move up the ladder, as is Denny Smith. Kelly Smith, he won here last year in the mud and the rain. Nick Way also had an excellent race right behind him. As we take a look at the rest of the 125 riders, we see the veterans Larry Ward, Damon Huffman. They've had some good races this year, David.
I'll tell you what, Larry Ward, who's just been out there having fun, riding strong, almost won the overall here in the mud against Bradshaw. He passed him in the last lap.
Racer X's Davey Combs is down at the gate. I understand, Davey, we've got some problems with the series leader, Grant Langston, his bike. Davey, what's wrong?
Check out the drama down here on the starting line. That's 125 National Championship points leader Grant Langston with his hand up. He found a spark plug right before the 30-second board went up. He's got 2 minutes, according to AMA rules, to get the spark plug changed. You can see all the KTM mechanics down there, Harry Nolte, Andrew Langston, trying to get his bike back going. They had to take the gas tank off to get to the spark plug. It seems like it's been more than 2 minutes, but it looks like Langston catching a break early here at High Point.
Langston anxiously looking on.
Well, this will shake him up. And the other guys, too. They were ready to go. Now they've been waiting a long time. I'll tell you what, this was like number 594 over there on the outside. I think the AMA would have gotten us underway.
Let's take this opportunity for a break. We'll be right back. The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Honda, the company that defines performance on two wheels. Performance first. While we were away, these fans were watching a frantic KTM Red Bull crew try to get Langston's bike started.
See the smoke right there. They have it running. They're going to put the gas tank assembly back on with the shrouds to scoop in air for the radiator, keeping it cool. It looks like a major, but it's just easier to get to the spark plug that way.
Right now, they're all fired up, ready to go for our first 125 Moto. We're off and ready. The charge for the hole shot. And it's Ernesto Fonseca, Yamaha Troy, the four-stroke. Akira Narita is on the inside. Fonseca going wide. Narita, the triple-digit rider, is out in front on the Suzuki. Back and forth we go. Fonseca's not going to let that happen.
Well, Narita had a better line coming out of the first long left-hand sweeper corner, but then, whoa, Fonseca almost goes down there. But Fonseca's line paid off in the end. Now you got Brandis in there.
Michael Brandis, and Brandis goes down on the slick track.
Wow, you know, he got anxious there looking at the lead. I think I would have made that move too, but it's just a lot more slick than he anticipated. A lot of these guys didn't take their warm-up lap today like they normally do. They didn't want to add the weight to the bike. Fonseca did.
What a great start for Ernesto Fonseca, who was 29th here last year. He had motos of 25 and 27.
Well, that's going to improve today. It would take a disaster for Ernesto to have a worse finish than that with that start.
Pastrana, Jessamine, Kelly Smith, right after Narita and Fonseca.
Take a look at Brandis going on the inside. Looks like the better line, but he doesn't really have much of a berm there. Loses the front end. Now, Fonseca took that warm-up lap, knows right where he wants to go, and he got sandwiched there for a moment. Looked scary, but paid off in the end.
Fonseca now starting to pull a little bit on Narita. Narita's an interesting story. His mom and dad really encourages his racing. He's out of Japan. He did not race at Glen Helen because of the Japanese National Series. Travis Pastrana making his way in third.
See the foam he's got up on his helmet there. Most of the guys now go into foam. Mud won't stick to that. And if you got mud packed up on the top of your head from a bad start, it starts to get so heavy it pushes your visor down. It's hard to see. Pushes your goggles down too. They also use the foam in places on the motorcycle to keep mud out of the brake pedals and the shift lever.
You know, it's not unusual to see Narita up here at the beginning. In fact, I think it was one of the Anaheim races. He got a hole shot in qualifying, did a knack and a heel clicker. He was so happy about it, then failed to qualify. But to hold on this long and this fast on this track, David, admirable performance.
Well, he must like the mud because he is really attacking this racetrack. There goes Travis to the inside, but look at that. He's smart. He gets right back in there and gets him back. Not that many people do that to Travis, so Narita is serious right now.
Both careful not to slip out. Fonseca pretty steady out front. And the two Suzukis are pounding him. Narita shows him a wheel. Looks for an avenue to the outside. Now the inside. Fonseca's doing a nice job of cutting him off. Here comes Narita. Narita takes the lead. This is incredible. Pastrana now in third. Pastrana, he's working on Fonseca. Moves into second place. Two Suzukis out in front. But who would have guessed before this race started that this young man would be in the lead?
Well, Travis had a good idea. Get in there and try to put a block pass on him, but he couldn't hold the inside. Narita guessed perfect. Got right back to the inside, and then a couple corners later to the inside of Fonseca.
David, if this guy wins, Davey's going to have to sharpen up his Japanese. He can only say thank you very much, I think.
Well, that's all I can say in Japanese. Maybe we could borrow Jim Hawley for the translation. He knows a little bit of Japanese.
And Jim worked with Narita when he was with Yamaha for 3 straight years. He came over to the United States to race in the off dates, not conflicting with the Japanese national races.
I wouldn't want to be standing next to Hawley right now. He's pretty animated normally, but with this guy out front, he's pretty excited, I bet.
Narita, a surprise leader. We've had so many surprises in the early going of this season of motocross. The points leader, Grant Langston, is at mid-pack right now. But let's go for a clarification. Davey, what about the rule interpretation?
There was some controversy when Grant Langston's Red Bull KTM motorcycle would not start up. We thought the AMA rule said that a rider is allowed 2 minutes to work on a motorcycle. Turns out that's not true. It's actually up to the discretion of the AMA Pro Motocross manager, in this case, Duke Finch. We asked Duke why he waited so long. He said, hey, it's my discretion. I think Duke wanted to see a good race, just like everyone else here at High Point.
Well, I'm in total agreement with Duke right there on that decision. And, you know, Grant, points leader, he's won the first 4 motos of the series. He's the reigning 125 world champion. I think he's earned the right to get a look at the time.
The battle for third behind Narita and Pastrana. It's Ernesto Fonseca and Jessamine. Jessamine has had some fine motos this year.
And he jumped into the scene here at Mount Morris. I remember him as newcomer, really put in a fine moto here, so he's familiar with this Mount Morris layout. Also, since he's from back here, he knows a little bit about the mud, just like Travis Pastrana.
Smith, Tane, Ward, Michael Brown, much better position in this moto than last week in our field summary. And you saw Grant Langston there in double digits.
Now, this is the second week in a row that Fonseca has been up front. Third at the first moto at Hangtown last week. Here he sits in third again, but he's being threatened right now for that position where Jessamine is flying. Maybe a little bit better mud rider than Fonseca, but he's got to figure out a way around that 4-stroke. And as this track starts to dry out a little bit, it's really just drying out in one good line.
Oh, Jessamine slips out. I have a feeling we're going to see a great deal of this today.
Hard to even get its footing to get going again. It's so slick. If you drop out of that main groove, it's just a 6 inches to a foot or foot and a half of slime. They did an excellent job. This morning in practice, I thought, oh, this is going to be a mess. And there was no line, but it's dried out.
All kinds of action on the wet track here at Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. We'll be right back with more 125 action right after these words.
The Life, presented by Sprite, Saturdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN.
We're looking over the shoulder of the leader's mechanic. That's Akira Narita, and as you can tell, he's not from around here. I have no idea what that board says. I think it says, keep going. That's Pastrana behind you.
Good guess, Davey.
They got me.
It's as good as anyone, I know that. Narita is leading Pastrana.
I think they should signal Travis with some of that. Got to throw him off.
You know, we talked about this being an international series with Langston winning the first 2. He's from South Africa. You've got the Costa Rican, of course, Fonseca, Tane, the Frenchman. I didn't think we'd get a Japanese rider out front this long in the race.
Well, he's not joking around. They're really pulling away from third place now. That battle for third, Fonseca's dropped about 7 seconds back this early in the race.
This is the first year Narita has a full factory ride. He got it with Suzuki. He had support from Yamaha for years and was kind of a rebel when he broke away from Yamaha. Here comes Pastrana. Pastrana makes the pass on Narita. David, now we'll really get a chance to see what Narita's made of.
Yeah, look at that. He jumps right up to the back wheel of Pastrana. I think he's just on a roll right now. You can hear the crowd going. And Narita kind of jumps off to the side. He ruins his rhythm. He's not able to do that double jump. So watch Travis. Doubles right into the lead, reaches up, clears his vision. I'm glad to get around him because Narita, that's not the kind of guy he's been riding around with. He doesn't know what to expect. Following him is probably a chore, not knowing what line Narita had in mind. Now he can ride his own race.
Travis Pastrana has taken the lead. And with the points leader Langston at mid-pack still, this means nothing but championship points to number 1, the defending champion.
Right now, he's going to pick up about 15 or so, and I'm sure Langston's going to move up some more. Look at Travis, just awesome in the mud. You know, I talked to his mother, and his mother said he was doing a rain dance. He wanted it to rain more.
He loves the rain. He loves racing in the rain.
See, as this track, as it dries up, it gets a little stickier. Travis likes it like it was in practice, just horrible conditions. The worse it is, the more he likes it.
That'll be interesting, too, in the 250. Last year's winner, Villeman, he loves the rain and wet stuff.
And Kelly Smith on KT, well, Langston's teammate now, KTM's first national win last year. I mean, who'd have thought Kelly Smith would win a national, but the mud really opens it up for the guys that love this stuff.
There's Satter, your favorite, 594, just getting past, but with the courtesy.
I didn't know he was going to get TV time. I was trying to pick a rider I didn't think would get any time, but now that he's a star, maybe AMA will give him about 30 seconds extra.
To get the inside stuff, let's go back in the mechanics area now with Davey.
Andrew, a very rough start for you guys.
Yeah, we worked on the back from the practice to the race and ran it, and all seems to be well, but somewhere there's an electrical problem that's creeped in somewhere, and we don't know what it is, and if the bike's going to hold out till the end of the race, but very unusual.
How nervous were you that you guys weren't even going to make the start?
Really, really nervous, but even now with the bike not sounding too good, I don't know how good he's going to do with it not performing 100%.
Travis Pastrana, meanwhile, is out in front, which means this points race could be tightened up considerably at the end of this afternoon. And Narita's still fairly close to Pastrana, David.
Yeah, Pastrana has to push right here by that corner back there. It looked like he did a knack-knack. He started to do one. His foot hit the ground and kind of threw him up a little bit off balance. There's Fonseca in third. Not too far back. They pulled away, but he's maintained that distance ever since.
They've already gone through the tear-offs, and now it's roll-off time.
Well, I saw Larry Ward go by a moment ago with no goggles, so it's bad for the guys that didn't get the good start. And, man, what a turn of events with Langston now. I had a feeling that might come to an end, that four-moto streak, but I had no idea it was going to be an electrical problem or bad luck like this to cause it. But it's a big break for Pastrana, who couldn't wait to get back east.
Our field summary showing that he's in 10th place right now. Fonseca putting Pingree down a lap. The riders pretty much staying right behind each other here, David.
Well, that's the Bradshaw Boulevard that Davey took us through in the, earlier, but like I said, it's drying out in one section of the track. No one wants to go out and use all the mud, so it's a little bit tougher to pass. For somebody like Langston way back, plus his bike's having problems running 100%, it's just about impossible for him to pass right now. It's not the fault of the racetrack, it's just the weather.
Pastrana doing a little slide action, getting around the corner.
Yeah, that corner is wide open. There are places to pass, but for the most part, because of the conditions, it's just drying out in one line.
It's a great honor to have a part of a track named for you, like Morocco's Leaf and Bradshaw Boulevard. Bradshaw, of course, was an exciting figure on this track.
He was. A lot of wins here, and he was a lot like Travis. Just the people just loved him. Wherever he was on the racetrack, didn't matter what place he was in, they're yelling for him.
He was the last rider to win back-to-back titles on this track. But we're in the 125s right now. Exciting action as Narita, you see right now, he made it through the lappers just like Pastrana, and he's starting to put pressure on the defending champion.
This is, okay, the beginning of the race, that didn't surprise me. I know Narita's fast. And we get a great start. That helps, but look at this. Travis has got to be going, who the heck is, what's going on? He might have thought, okay, that's a lapper just hanging with me, trying to see if
He looks back.
Yeah, now he knows.
Here comes Narita. Unbelievable. The three-digit rider passes number one.
Now here's a golden opportunity for Travis to pick up points on Langston. Narita's not going to ride all the nationals. The Coster must be going, what the heck is going on out there? Comes all the way across the inside. Look at it, just about go down when they hit that deep mud. And now Travis knows this guy's for real, so he's got to bring out the A game. I think he put it in cruise control, thinking, hey, I'm the best rider here in the mud. I'll pull away from this guy. You know, he'll be tough for a while, but he'll fade. Not Narita. He is serious. Obviously a great mud rider.
Narita had some classic battles with Kyle Lewis when Kyle Lewis was winning the Japanese National Championships 2 years running.
And Travis must have bobbled back there or stalled for a moment because he was pretty close to Narita going into that corner, but look at the lead Narita has now.
Could he become the first Japanese winner of this American Series? Well, we're going to have a lot more foreign riders coming over for the next round at Southwick. Yes, the GPs have a week off. Joel Spence and everybody else is coming over. Check it out on our telecast on the 23rd. Welcome back to High Point Raceway, where we've seen some big surprises in the past, but nothing equals this.
Look how hard Travis is having to ride right now to try to close the gap on Narita. Little bit on the edge. Bike dancing all around underneath him. He's riding as hard as he can go right now to try to get this win.
Narita out in front of Travis Pastrana, the defending champion. The pit boys are out there, one in Japanese. Can Narita hold him off? It's the last lap. Here comes Pastrana. Shows him the wheel. He's got the inside. What a pass by Pastrana.
I thought he was going down. He came into that corner so hot, the bike had no chance of getting into the berm. He actually took a foot off the top of the berm. Watch Travis. He comes in here. I don't know how he made it. He cased it, actually, on the top of that berm, and I thought, well, if he doesn't go down there, Narita will get him back with that inside line, but Travis was determined to get him back. This kid is exciting, man.
Can Narita come back in a short distance, though? He's known as a kamikaze-type guy. Go for it all back in Japan.
The crowd is, boy, I'll tell you what, this one you thought, okay, this is about over with. Go get a hot dog. The crowd's coming to life here with their favorite East Coast rider getting back into the lead, and it wasn't easy.
Travis Pastrana, can he hold on for his first Moto win of 2001?
Look at the body English he's got to use to get up over that double jump.
Will he stop the domination of Langston, who won the 4 previous Motos?
I know Travis has picked up his training program a little bit as of late. And this is where it really pays off, because you saw him look behind him, and he's still not feeling like he's in the clear. This last lap may be the fastest one of the race.
What a great opener for the 25th anniversary of High Point Raceway.
That long left-hand corner was pretty much Narita's last chance. He went in there hot, but he lost time.
Travis peering back. The checkers are out. The heel clicker in the mud. An incredible ride by Travis Pastrana, but he was forced to go on the edge of the envelope. Well, that's the universal language. Respect amongst competitors. Travis Pastrana pushed to the limit by Narita, who takes a second place in the Moto. Fonseca rounding out the top 3. It's going to be interesting to hear the comments. Let's go to Davey.
Travis, that was an unbelievable race. Who was that guy behind you?
Man, he's the new guy on the Suzuki team, man. Unbelievable. I raced him into nations. I didn't know Japanese guys knew how to ride in the mud, man. Nakura, that guy is on the gas. They call him Bonsai. It's easier than pronouncing his name, but, man, he is on the gas. I love the mud. I wasn't expecting that, but, man, he's on the gas. My Suzuki pulled me out to a great start, and, man, I need to get back on a roll, and this is a great way to start it out.
You have the Moto win, your first Moto win of the year. Grant Langston had an awful Moto, put you right back in the championship hunt.
Yeah, well, thanks. I mean, it's a long series, and he still has a points lead for sure. So just going to go out there and do my best in the next Moto. If it doesn't rain anymore, it's going to be dry. So kind of bummed, but it should be good. It's nice and muddy for that Moto, though.
Good ride, Travis.
Thanks a lot, Davey.
After such a great ride, we're going to find out just how much English Jim Holley has taught Akira Narita. As we go back down to Davey now on the winner's platform.
Well, I'm down here with the guy that almost stole the show, Akira Narita. Akira, yeah. I don't know how your English is, but fantastic job.
Thank you. So, Japan race is sometimes rain. So, I like mud condition. So, good race.
Well, whatever that was, good job.
Thank you. Good.
Performances like we saw from Ernesto Fonseca certainly will up his markability as his contract expires at the end of this season. Let's go back to Davey now, who's with Ernesto.
Ernesto, Travis said he was surprised that Japanese riders could ride so well in the mud, but we kind of knew you were from Costa Rica. You get a lot of weather down there.
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird. Last year I didn't even score any points here, but you know, I got off to a great start. My Yamaha YC250F was hooking up great, and what can I say? I was just trying to stay up, not make any dumb mistakes, and this thing is hard to start, so you got to be careful. But you know, Akira, when I was in Japan, he was riding great, and I know those guys ride in the mud a lot, but you know what? We have to charge in the second Moto.
Good job on third place.
Thank you.
The 125 crews are saying, top this if you can, because the 250s are coming up next for their first Moto. back at High Point Raceway. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coons bringing you the action. And boy, what action we saw in the 125s. Right now, we turn to a great points race in the 250 classification where the top 4 riders are all within 12 points of one another.
Ryan Hughes and Tim Ferry, both on the 4 strokes, lined up right next to each other. That's going to shoot a pretty big bruise, but the mechanics better stand way back.
There's Stefan Roncada for a look now into the technical side. Let's turn to Davey.
Unfortunately, High Point often means mud, and that means for a long day for all the mechanics. So this week's Kawasaki bike set, we thought we'd talk to Dan Worley, Stefan Roncada's factory mechanic. Dan, what do you got going today?
We got a lot going on today, Davey. First of all, we got to keep the riders' hands clean and the grips clean so they stay on the bike. Then we're going to move down here. Boom. Everything under the motor, we have to keep these levers moving freely and keep the engine and the bike a little bit lighter and a little bit cooler. Next, radiator louvers. We're going to double them up today just to help keep the mud and keep air flowing through there to help keep the motors a bit cooler. Last and not least, we got the rear discs and the front. The pads are going to get eaten up in this mud today, and we got to help keep them cleaned out and keep them going through the whole moto.
Well, that's just what one mechanic is doing today. It's a long day for the mechanics, and that's this week's Kawasaki bike setup.
More dark clouds on the horizon. Of course, Pastrana's hoping it's going to rain for that second 125 moto as we take a look at the Suzuki starting grid with Sebastian Tortelli, our points leader, Ricky Carmichael, who's won more motos than anyone, but is not the points leader. David Villeman is the defending champion. He did such a great job here last year winning the 250 race. Ryan Hughes on the 4-stroke. On the big bore KTM, John Dowd. Kyle Lewis, he's the young man that battled for the Japanese championship against Narita. David, as we look at the starting grid now for the rest of the riders of this 40-rider field, what about the 250s, and especially the 4-strokes?
Well, you know, you got capable guys that win motos and overall on 4-strokes in this race. You got John Dowd on that 520. He won a moto here last year, didn't get the overall, but he's fast in the mud. Hughes on the new 450. Ferry's on a hot streak, and those guys can win the race. They're going to have a big advantage on the start.
32nd board is up. Tim Ferry, number 15, the winner. It was his very first 250 motocross victory in the opening round of our series. There's Carmichael. There's Tortelli, number 13, right on the left. The elbows up, and we're off and running first moto. Boy, did you see that roost? Just think about being behind these riders down on the track.
That's the cable cam about 30 or 40 feet up in the air, and it's getting roosted. So if you're mid-back, you're hating it. There's Dowd with a great start.
934 out in front, got the whole shot. That's David Villeman, who won this race last year. Villeman, number 14, Kevin Windham. Windham is looking smooth.
Hughes getting a little squirrely, but still, oh no, the same place. That looked like Lusk going down, a face plant. It was.
Lusk just buried his face in the mud.
You see the seat. I don't know if you got a glimpse of that, but there's ridges going across it. That's to keep the guys from sliding back. And Villeman doing it again, looking all around. Now, I love the way this guy's ride. I like David Villeman, but he just looks around too much. He has a nickname, the Cobra. They may have to change that to Rubberneck to keep that up. Look at Lusk. Okay, he'd be going on this line if he was out front. He can get the start he wants. He's going to try to cut across the inside. Turns out to be a bad idea. No traction, and you heard the term face plant. Well, there it is. So now Ezra's in 40th.
John Dowd, number 16. Ricky Carmichael, a good start in 4th. Oh, hold on, Ricky. Ricky's never really liked the mud. Tim Ferry, number 15, right behind him.
And, you know, I just kind of gave Villeman a hard time for looking around. Ricky does it right there, too. I think what he wanted to know is which 4-stroke that was, and good save right there. Another one by Ricky, trying to get into that berm, and that's the worst off-camber of the racetrack, and skiing on his foot around there for balance. It just about threw him off the high side.
Green flag is out. Villeman and Windham, 1 and 2. This has not been a great track for Ricky Carmichael. Yes, he's won a couple of 125 races here, but last year he was 11th overall after 12-12.
Yeah, he's had his problems here, and it looked like it was about to start here in the opening lap. Watch, he's going to have to use his foot, ski on a little bit. That is so slick. The only reason you don't just go down to the woods right there is because of that berm, and his foot caught the ground right there. That's a good example of why these guys wear knee braces.
Look at Kevin Windham. He's given Villeman everything he can handle.
Well, Kevin likes the mud, too. And I know Villeman was praying for rain. Oh, no.
Carmichael goes down. Another bad break in the opening moto for Ricky Carmichael. Every moto he's won this year, the previous two, have been second motos. Meanwhile, back out in front, David.
That's a disaster, though, Art. But this is only the second lap. It's just after the spot where Lust went down, and Ricky's having a hard time getting going. That's going to drop him back to 40th now.
Kevin Windham keeping it close. We might have another barn burner here in the 250s. Welcome back to High Point Raceway in Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. Our leader here in the first 250 moto was David Villeman, number 934. We've had two events so far in this series and two different winners. Tim Ferry won the first round at Glen Helen. Sebastian Tortelli, a Frenchman, came back and won the second round at Sacramento's Hangtown Classic.
This looks like the four-stroke national. You got Dowd right there, then Ferry, then Hughes. Now, you can't even hear yourself think when these guys go by. It's so loud. The Ferry, though, he's got a better line there, maybe.
Here comes the Yamaha four-stroke against the KTM. We'll see what Hughes on the Honda does from the inside there.
Now, Tortelli's bringing up the rear of this four-way train, and Tortelli caught these guys. He's going fast. Ferry is, too. He may pull away off the front here, but Tortelli is going to make that battle between Dowd and Hughes real interesting.
Villeman and Windham have about an 8-second lead on this four-way battle with Dowd, Ferry, Hughes, and Tortelli.
And LaRocco back there. He's also gaining ground. Not a good start for him. His starts have really improved this year, though. During the Supercross season, he actually got some hole shots. He really needed to start here today, and he didn't get it.
Here's Tim Ferry. He had a hot start on the season, but it tailed off at Hangtown.
Yeah, I felt good the second moto. They got second behind Carmichael, kept him in sight, kind of like Glen Helen. Probably stayed a little closer that weekend. And it was a tough race because it was so hot. And, then I had to crash the first moto. So it was a hard race for me. The heat was, I think, taking its toll on everybody.
Timmy's on it now here at Mount Morris. He's in third place. Right behind Tim Ferry is still a battle for fourth. And right there we see it.
Look at it. Now Tortelli, this keeps happening to him. He gets surrounded by all these four-strokes. He's got Hughes there on the 450, Dowd on the 520.
John Dowd cutting in front.
Tortelli may consider earplugs if this keeps up.
Dowd now making a move for Hughes. Honda, KTM Honda.
Neither one of these guys are easy to pass. So Tortelli, not only can he not hear himself think, and he's getting roosted to death here. I talked about the track kind of starting to form a little bit of a one-line situation just because of the mud. And he's having a time of it back there. Plus, these guys are hard to pass.
Dowd getting a good start in this race. He had a hole shot and a near hole shot in the two motos last year.
Look how clean he is compared to Tortelli. Doesn't even need to change gear between motos. Tortelli's already covered. And that goes for his vision, too. He's running out of that. And here comes LaRocco closing the gap. So this is going to get really good.
Mike LaRocco doesn't like to get left out of battles like this. Here comes Tortelli. And whoa! Dowdy goes flying.
LaRocco squeezes by. I don't think Dowd knew he was coming.
There goes Ron Cotta right by him.
Tortelli used a lot of force to get by him right there. I don't know. I don't think Dowd's going to be too stoked about that, but he's up and going. Looks like everything's okay with the bike. Look at this, okay? Tortelli, all he really needed to do was come down here and connect into the berm. The pass is pretty much made. But he takes Dowd wide. That's an Indo. Luckily for LaRocco, the bike went one way, Dowd went the other, and cleared him a nice path.
So Dowd, whose only podium of the season last year in the third overall, was right here. Probably won't be up on that podium this year.
Villeman has just been awesome. See the way he just darted through those corners right there. He's making enough time everywhere on the track. His line choice is a little bit better than everyone else. Plus, he loves the mud. He was doing a rain dance just like Pastrana.
Here's Tortelli now taking on Ryan Hughes. They're both on Hondas. Probably not the contact we saw with John Dowd.
These guys are losing time to the leaders. And it doesn't look to me like Ryan's riding as aggressively as he normally does. So
Could that be on purpose, though?
Yeah, maybe. You know, he struggled at the first round. He rode a little nervous in the first moto. He had a problem with his goggles the second moto. That was just bad luck. And then Hangtown, he struggled. So I think he's trying to just be consistent here.
He only had 2 months on the bike, really, and oh, another bang-bang play.
Same thing again, and, you know, that was just too close for me. Didn't look like teammates at all. That was pretty much the same thing he did to Dowd, only Dowd was still trying to cut back to the inside. Ryan, I really don't think Ryan even saw him coming. I mean, they almost hit each other, and Ryan would have gotten the worst end of the deal, just like Dowd did.
So Hughes now trying to hold on to number 13. Another look here.
Watch out. See, Hughes didn't even look, man, and Tortelli just slashed across his front wheel. Hughes gave him a little bump back, going, hey, cut it out. You know, we're in this together. But Tortelli it's obvious with his intentions, man. He is not messing around this year. Twice he's led the points. With injuries, he had to drop out. This year he wants it.
With Carmichael at mid-pack, this is our points leader.
A Soccer Saturday twin bill. United Wizards at 4 on ESPN. Galaxy Fusion.
David Villeman continues to lead our opening moto in the 250s here at High Point. Most of the action, though, has been around Ryan Hughes. He's been embattled here this afternoon.
Well, that's what happens when you get a good start and you're not riding quite as aggressively as the other guys. Now, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't mean Ryan's riding slow. It's just guys like Tortelli and LaRocco. These guys aren't messing around. And Tortelli, or LaRocco, rather, is known for coming through the pack.
Oh, LaRocco just shot by him with a good, clean move.
Now that drops Ryan to 6th, which will be a big improvement over the way that his day went at Hangtown. And he can learn a little bit. You know, LaRocco, even if Ryan riding his best right now and aggressive, LaRocco still may be doing this to him, so he can learn a little bit from his lines and hopefully take that into the second moto.
So the former 250 and 500 champion now starting to move away a little bit from Ryan Hughes. Let's check out our Honda profile. In the traveling circus that is motocross racing, the role of team manager is crucial to keep things rolling smoothly. For Honda team manager Chuck Miller, taking care of issues during the course of an event is one of his most important roles.
If there's a problem with a racer, if somebody gets injured, if there's some type of protest, then I would get involved at that time.
But probably the most useful tool that Chuck brings to his role as team manager is the mindset of a former racer.
It's very, somebody very into racing. It's old racer, so, he understands very good the riders and, knows, when you need to give you help and need to be strong by your side. So that's very important for a rider to have somebody who understands you and, knows what racing is all about and, be there when you need to, like somebody to help you out. It's great.
Started racing back in the late 70s, racing off-road, desert racing, evolved to 6-day type racing at the ISDE, and did some hare scrambles, a little bit of everything. It's different now being on this side of it. Makes the racing seem pretty easy.
A new ball he is juggling this year is the debut of Honda's new 4-stroke effort, the CRF 450R. But new challenges bring new rewards.
It's a different machine, so we're all learning, but at the same time, it's kind of sparked a drive within the team. We're all really excited to have it part of our program. It'll be ongoing all year long with the 450 as well as the 250. Racing it's from one week to another. What worked this week won't work next week.
While we're away, we've got a battle now for second place. Number 14 on the yellow Suzuki, Kevin Windham. Tim Ferry on the 4-stroke Yamaha has really picked up on it.
Villeman out front, who's just been awesome, pulling away from these guys, got a huge lead. I think Kevin, who's riding great, just figured, well, second won't be bad. I'll be in there for the overall, put it in that cruise mode, and Ferry is riding like Villeman is out front, only with a little bit more power. Now Kevin's really forced to pick up the pace.
Well, Kevin hasn't won a 250 National since Binghamton. That was back in 1999, but he's getting close, and he's running very well. Let's check into the mechanics area now with Davey Coombs.
Well, Brian, it looks like Tim has a hook in the second-place rider, Kevin Windham.
Well, we're gaining a little bit of time every lap. Lappers are starting to be a little bit of a factor. He's just got to be able to steer clear of those guys and keep on his pace, and I think we may get him.
I know Tim won a national here back in 1995. The conditions were exactly the same. Was he hating the rain this morning, or did he seem to like it?
He didn't have too much trouble this morning. He's actually having some fun out there. It looks like it's going to start dumping here pretty quick, so I think he's going to enjoy himself and hopefully come back in Moto 2.
Ferry really starting to put the pressure on.
For anybody who may have been surprised at that overall win in the first round by Ferry, I think this
Whoa! Wyndham goes down. Ferry, he just zooms right by him. Kevin, though, getting up. Will he maintain third place? Yes, he starts the engine, and he is still in third.
That was a quick restart. He just came into that berm a little bit hot. He may have been feeling the pressure from Tim Ferry. And I was about to say, for anyone that was a little bit surprised with Ferry winning the opener, it's no joke. This guy is on a roll. Look at Wyndham. He comes in a little hot. That's the berm that got pushed out. He's trying to connect right about there, but he hits him right where they join, grabs the bike, sends him over the high side. That berm's about 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall. He didn't have a chance.
Oh, a great shot that showed it so clearly what happened on that one. Is Tim Ferry now all alone in second place, at least for the time being. Villeman is our leader. He's way out in front.
Good day for Yamaha. They had a 2-stroke in the lead, a 4-stroke in second.
The always important round from Southwick, ESPN 2, June 23rd. David Villeman is still our leader here in the first 250 Moto in number 4. He's choosing to ride with the number 4 plate instead of the number 1 plate as the defending champion. Ricky Carmichael is now in 13th. He came all the way from 40th. A great ride, but a tough start. Let's go to Davey.
Just a minute ago, Ricky Carmichael's mechanic, Chad Watts, told us that this was no way to win a championship, losing 20 points at a time. As it stands right now, Ricky's going to lose 18 points. He's worked his way up into 13th place. That's still a long way from the top 5, but he has been able to salvage a little bit of points here in a terrible first moto.
And you see Ricky keeps looking over. He's actually looking back behind him on the racetrack. And I have a feeling he's looking over at Villeman, who's not that far behind him. Villeman, here he comes into the same section Ricky just went through. Ricky looking over on the hill, I think, over at Villeman. Villeman is not that far from lapping Carmichael. I don't think Ricky wants to be lapped. It wouldn't hurt him into points. But by God, he does not want to be lapped in this moto. It's been bad enough already.
Well, Ricky, after such a dominating championship year last year, but he's had different winners winning the overalls, and that's really kind of helped him each round.
Yeah, the fact that the crowd up front is so mixed now, so much talent. There's actually 9 guys that could actually win a moto here, not luck into one. I'm talking about have the talent to win. And you're right, Art, that's really helping Ricky while he's struggling with his first moto.
Number 934 won his first American motocross 250 moto right here last year in the second moto after taking a 3rd place to take the overall. It was his second overall win of the year as he went 2-2 the week before. He's got to be liking things right here at Mount Morris. David Villeman takes the checkered flag for his first moto win of the season. He's got to be feeling on cloud 9 right now after so many problems during the Supercross season.
Watch Ferry does a nice job, rolls up next to him, and I'll tell you what, after Wyndham went down, Art, he did a good job holding off the hard-charging Tortelli back there in 4th. There's Wyndham right there pulling up. You know, he gets a little overshadowed by those Yamaha guys, but it's still a strong ride. He's in there for the overall.
Wyndham not that far off in the points. Here's the final standings. Villeman, Ferry, Wyndham, Tortelli, and LaRocco, the top 5. The big news, RC, Ricky Carmichael, 13th, Ezra Les, 14th. Let's go to Davey.
David, that was a fantastic ride. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks a lot, you know. I got a great outshot, and, you know, my Yamaha worked really good, and I was hoping for the rain because, you know, I like the mud here in High Point, and, you know, it's very, very kind of slippery and pretty dry now, and I'm happy to win on this condition, and, you know, I've been struggling all year, and it's very, very, very happy to win a moto here.
Your teammate Tim Ferry came up and got second in the second moto. Does that surprise you?
No, you know, Timmy's been riding great lately, and, you know, his 426 is, you know, unbelievable, and I think it'd be great to be on top of the panel tonight with him.
Good job, David.
Thanks a lot.
Tim Ferry came into this round only 8 points away from the points leader. Well, he distinguished himself here in the opening moto as we go back to the victory platform and Davey Combs. Davey?
Well, Tim, you just keep this streak going. That's your 4th second-place finish in 5 motos this year.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I'm, you know, still looking for that moto win, but you know, I kind of lost a lot of ground that first 3 or 4 laps, and you know, I'm happy to come out with second. I was trying to put the pressure on Kevin to get by him, you know, because I know a second place is a lot better when he goes for the overall for the second moto. So second's a lot better than third, and I'm pretty happy with the way it went.
Back in 1995, you won the 125 National here with a 2-2. Thinking second place will get you the win this time again?
I don't know. David was riding really good that time, and you know, it's cool to see a couple of Yamaha guys up front, and you know, he's kind of had a rough couple races, and it's good to see both of us up here, and try to get the Yamahas back out front again. We'll see what happens.
2 fantastic motos so far in the afternoon as the 125s get back to the gate, hoping that the weather will hold for their second moto of the afternoon. We'll be right back with the 125s right after this. In their first moto, we saw an outstanding battle between Akira Narita and Travis Pastrana, with Pastrana winning the first moto on the very last lap. The 32nd board is up again. Will we see that kind of competition here in the final 125 moto of the day?
What a trio. You got Smith, last year's winner, Pastrana, the first moto winner, and Fonseca is getting those great starts on the 4-stroke. Look at all the tear-offs on Fonseca's helmet. Got about 5 or 6 of them hanging off the left side.
32nd board sideways. We're ready to go with the second moto. The 125s are underway. Can you believe it? On the inside, Narita again. The young Japanese rider taking over first. Pastrana goes wide, almost goes off the track. There's the green Kawasaki number 100 of Mike Brown. Fonseca battling it. Oh, they look like they were beating up on each other on that corner. Fonseca into second place. It looked like Pastrana into third. And the cavalry is behind him.
Well, I'll tell you what, I thought Narita might just be the one moto wonder, but here he is again. It's not as muddy as it was the first moto. Maybe he won't have quite the advantage, but he looks good so far. He's already got a gap on Travis.
After that great ride in the first moto.
Look at the lead already.
Travis Pastrana in second place, Fonseca in third. Narita is known for a guy who just goes for it, and he crashes a lot. But he certainly didn't crash in that first moto. Whoa, look out! Boniface almost got run over.
Got a little help from Brown there. Brown trying to get back to the front. He was going for second. That battle with Fonseca. Blew it in the next corner because of his efforts, and then dropped all the way back to fourth. Man, I don't care. If somebody's going to give me an elbow, I'll give him one back. He wants to get in there. The first moto wasn't really on the radar screen. He needs a good finish here to make up for last week. 238 places.
Coming off the off-camber, Narita, then Pastrana. Pastrana looks like he's taking his time this time.
Well, he knows how to treat this kid. He knows that you can't just go after him and attack him. He's got to have a little bit of a plan because Narita's for real. This track in much better shape this time. We did a lot of work on it with the dozer between motos to make it a little bit better for passing. Plus the sunshine's out for the time being, and that's really helping.
There's Mike Brown in third place. With the way Langston and Pastrana are riding, Brown, after a poor finish last week, pretty much put to rest his title chances, but he could be a good spoiler.
He can. He's fast. He's good in the mud. All that GP experience. Third overall in the World Championship last year. And you know what I really like? You got Narita out front from Japan. You got Brown coming back from Europe. You got Fonseca back there from Costa Rica. The world champion Langston from South Africa. I mean, the international flavor now in U.S. motocross is at an all-time high.
The points leader coming into this race, Langston, once again, a midway start.
This is the first time they've had just a dirt start. It's been concrete, and it'll be concrete again for the next couple of weeks. So maybe Langston's struggling a little bit that way. I don't know, but either way, both motos bad starts. But this time, he's really moving up the ladder quicker than he was the first time. First one, I wondered what was wrong. He didn't look like himself, and I couldn't tell the bike was missing the way the mechanics could, but I have a feeling he's going to join this battle pretty soon.
Narita is starting to pull a little bit of lead on Pastrana as the top three. You see the interval right there and a great shot. Well, Pastrana made up time coming up the hill.
Yeah, but Brown's got the best cheering section in that corner.
Narita on the downhill.
That was close. It looked like he almost lost the front end. If we were to go back in slow motion.
Oh! He cased it. Here comes Pastrana. Bar to bar we go. Pastrana to the inside. Makes quick work of it.
Yeah, I think the way he got into the corner at the bottom kind of upset his rhythm a little bit. He blew the double going up the hill, and Travis is all over it.
Don't forget in the first moto, though, when Travis passed Narita, Narita came back to retake the lead and really push Pastrana to what looked like might be a limit on that track.
Well, I think Travis was riding as hard as he could go his last couple of laps, and the way he passed for the lead, that could have easily been in a crash. And he's still running the foam on top of his helmet. The reason why is he gets clouds in the distance. They're ugly. They're coming this way.
Can a Suzuki pick off this victory for the first time since 1995? Langston has moved up to 8. We'll be back.
At your Honda dealer.
Welcome back to High Point Raceway. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs bringing you the action. Here's number 100, Mike Brown, of the Split Fire Pro Circuit Kawasaki team. He's in third place behind Narita on a Suzuki. Travis Pastrana is out in front on the Suzuki.
Brown is starting.
Oh, Narita goes down. He slips down, and Brown gets by him for second place. Narita quickly back up, does not lose but one position.
You know, I think the pace was starting to get to him. He was a little bit on the edge in the first moto. I talked about Travis being on the edge in his last couple laps. It looked to me like Narita was on the edge the whole time. Gets in that berm a little too hot. It's just not formed enough yet to hold the bike. You see, they did some work with the dozers to shove all that deep mud off to the side. The berm wasn't big enough yet for somebody to come through as fast as he was.
The top three had a pretty good lead on everybody else.
Yeah, Fonseca's still hanging on pretty good, but yeah, these guys are starting to spread out some. And I'm happy for Brown this motor to get back up in there. He needs the points. I'd like to see him have a chance at this championship. But after Hangtown, it's not looking good.
Yeah, that turn 2 pileup, he hurt his shoulder. Took a 38. He went off the track as well. 2 38s didn't help. Here comes Langston. He makes the pass on Danny Smith. So Grant continues to move up the ladder and try to save his points lead. He had a humongous points lead coming into this race.
Langston is flying this time. Of course, the bike's running a lot better, too, but I don't know that he's going faster than Travis. I think those two are definitely the fastest riders on the track, and Langston, at this pace, he may be able to get around Fonseca in the third, but I think Brown's too far ahead.
Langston's mechanic is also his uncle, and he's with Davey.
Right now, you guys are up to 5th place. What's the best you think he can do here?
I think it's not possible to get up to third. Brown's going good. He's staying with Travis. First and second are going to be difficult, but I think third's still realistic.
What's realistic is Pastrana's going to win this moto if people can't step it up. Right there, but look at the speed generated by Grant Langston.
Yeah, it's so fast. And, you know, I'm just now really getting an opportunity to learn what Ryan Hughes was telling me, what Davey Coombs told me, how fast this guy is on an outdoor track. Supercross is a little different. And this guy sits a little bit further back than most people. Part of that is the shirt tail hanging out, making it look like he's sitting further back. But he's got a little bit different style than some of the other riders that I've studied over the years. And, man, it works for him. I tell you, he is moving.
Fonseca holding well in fourth.
No mistake in that bike going by. He's starting to close the gap, it looks like, now on Narita. Narita had a pretty good lead on him, but he's slowed down since he fell. Whoa, good save. If you get offline a little bit, get out of the groove, you find a spot that it looks like it has good traction, but it's just a bunch of slime underneath, and that's what happens. You get all sideways.
Looking at the results of Fonseca, you wouldn't think that he's really improved that much, but when you take a look at how he's riding, that's another story.
Yeah, that's the second week in a row. He's been third in the first moto. This time he's backing it up. Last week he was up there in the battle for the lead, actually led a little bit, and the bike quit. So he's looking much better here. That's unfortunate for him in the points, but he's going to get those back. Look what's happened to Brown already, and Langston. So anything can happen. He's still got to stay in it.
We don't mean to neglect our leader because he's so way out in front, but he's not making mistakes. He's keeping his speed up.
And that's the corner right there where last year he had this thing pretty much wrapped up and came to a stall with the spark plug cap coming off. Most freak thing I've ever heard of.
Our leader, Pastrana. Behind him is Mike Brown.
Not that far behind either.
And then a big gap going back to third. Where's Narita? There's Fonseca. There's Narita. But he has really slowed down now.
There's Langston going by, so he moves up.
Oh, Narita is very disgusted. There must be something wrong with the bike.
Yeah, even after he fell, he's still running a pretty good pace. So
Sellards on the KTM two-stroke.
I'll tell you what, those KTMs, they have, it seems like, plenty of power to battle with the four-stroke. Those things are really potent.
So Narita looks like he's back up to speed right now. I wonder what happened.
He can't make up his mind. Maybe that's where he got the nickname Bonzai. No telling what he's up to. Not a bad run for Sellards.
Sellards in 7th. Last year he won the overall at Troy, sweeping both motos on a Honda before moving over to the KTM team.
And I'll bet you, being teammates with Langston and all Langston's success, that's really picked up the morale over there at KTM. Now, last week, everybody from KTM was there to watch the race. You see Langston win another one, really get a big pat on his points lead. And, you know, when I was at Honda, Hanna joined the team in 83, and then Rick Johnson again in 86. It picked up the intensity of the team. Anytime somebody's really doing well, that rubs off a little bit on everybody else. So, real opportunity here for Sellards to learn a little bit about the outdoors.
Sellards passing Narita. And it looked like Roderick Kane on the Suzuki number 32 also passes Narita.
Kane also a good mud rider.
Meanwhile, Pastrana's on his way to becoming the first Suzuki to win the 125s here at Mount Morris since 1995 in Tim Ferry. Narita has slipped a bit.
PN2.
Well, it looks like the Cinderella ride of Akira Narita is over here at High Point. He came into the mechanics area. He'd been slowing down for about laps. He had a hard time telling what was wrong. He started the bike up, but apparently it's something on the left side. Maybe his clutch is gone. Narita out of the race after that unbelievable second-place finish in the first moto.
Tough break, David.
That's too bad. He was up front, too. Not like he was just a one-moto wonder. He was for real. Ahead of these guys. This is turning out to be a great battle. Langston has reeled in Fonseca.
Langston looking for a third place here after a near disaster in the first moto for him.
Well, he's got it going on right here. And you know what surprised me? It took him a long time to reel in Fonseca. He started the series with a 12th place in the opening moto. Not really known for his outdoor skills, but he's riding better here. It seems like with each lap he gets a little faster, and he's actually become a challenge for Langston, who's just been dominant so far.
Fonseca, growing up on the shorter tracks of Costa Rica, in his specialty of Supercross, will be moving to the 250s next year. And that'll be a good learning experience for Ernesto.
Probably give him a little more strength and confidence for the outdoor season. I think he'll probably stay on the 125 outdoors. But he's pointed out of the 125 Supercross, and he should have. He's won the championship in the East and the West.
He has kind of a quiet, laid-back personality, but he has an insatiable desire to learn.
And he learns really fast, too. I've been around him some, and it's amazing. He's a lot smarter than he looks when he talks on camera. You know, he comes off being a little bit quiet, like you said, but he's pretty bright. You have to be smart to ride as good as he does.
And you've got to be impressed with Langston. He seems a lot more mature than his years. Here comes Langston, and a good hippity-hop goes right by Fonseca. Oh, did he set that up nice?
I didn't see that coming. I don't think Fonseca did either. Fonseca kind of staying out there in the main line, but Langston really had a good run at him. Kind of caught him by surprise, too. Fonseca wasn't able to do the double right after that. See Ernie out there trying to make a cut in the berm, and Langston's like, the heck with the berm, down the middle.
Oh, that KTM machine is working hot. Grant Langston has moved up from about 10th all the way to 30.
And he's still going to lose. If it stays this way, he'll still lose 5 more points to Travis Pastrana. So if it stays like that, Travis will pick up close to 20 points. And he's back in this championship. A lot of people calling me during the week going, man, what's up with Travis? How about Langston? Is it over? And I'm like, no, you can't count Travis out. You got Mount Morris, his favorite track. Actually, I can't decide which is his favorite track between the next 3 rounds.
And the interesting thing is both these guys went through title chases last year. So they've got the maturity and experience. They know what it takes to go the distance.
Well, I think Travis has proven that he can come from a long ways behind and still win it. Langston knows that. He knows he needs a big points lead because Travis is dangerous down the stretch.
4.1 second lead on second place, Mike Brown. Time for this week's Suzuki Flashback. Last year, Travis Pastrana had taken his lumps to start out the motocross season, but as the series headed east, he hoped to erase some of those bad memories and show everyone that he was the sport's next young star. Moto 1 at Mount Morris started good for Travis. He was battling back and forth with Kelly Smith for most of the day. Fighting for the lead with a half lap to go, his bike lost a spark plug cap. It was a rare occurrence, but nonetheless ruined Moto 1 for him, dropping him to a 16th place finish. Undaunted, he came back in Moto 2 and put all his frustrations behind him, winning his first professional moto in front of friends and family on this rainy, muddy day and jump-starting his quest for the 125 outdoor title. Watch this, his mechanic, Lee McCollum. I'm going to hug it. No, I'm dirty. I'm muddy. It doesn't matter. We're on our way. And they certainly did a fine job after that, winning the championship, coming from 41 points down. Situation a lot different here today as we take a look at Grant Langston, number 111, in third place. Fonseca right behind him, giving him all kinds of pressure now.
Well, that's a good sign for Ernesto. He's learning a lot right now. Doesn't help you much to get a hole shot and pull away from the field or be running by yourself, but boy, he can learn a lot right now from Langston, and it surprises me that Langston hasn't pulled away more. I mean, it took him a long time to reel Ernie in, and once he got there, I thought once he got around, he'd be able to pull away, and Ernesto was hooked on and matched his pace.
Well, Pastrana, though, in that first moto, stopping Langston's domination of 4 consecutive motos. Things might be going through Grant's mind a little bit right now.
He's starting to make some mistakes there, too. He got a little off balance going up that hill and just allowed Ernie to get right back in there. Look at the line of Travis. Squares that right-hander and just makes a straightaway out of the next corner. Look at him just standing up through there, riding the rear wheel. This is the best I've seen Travis ride in a long time. He is flowing perfect right now.
Travis Pastrana, our leader. New development in the pits. Let's go to Davey Combs.
Check it out, guys. For the second week in a row, we're running in the top 5. Ernesto Fonseca's Yamaha came to a stop. Last week they said it blew a bearing. Hard to tell right now. You see his mechanic Kenny Germain running to him. He had 4th place in the bag, 2nd overall. Looks like a DNF for the Yamaha Troy rider.
It's not only the rider getting used to the new bike, it's the research and development also going through the process. Our Suzuki trivia question this week. Who are the only 3 125 Suzuki riders to win the High Point overall? We'll get the answer in a moment. The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series is brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. Travis Pastrana is on his way to winning his first race of the season, 1 race earlier than he did last year during his championship season. Our answer to our Suzuki trivia question, the 3 125 Suzuki overall winners here at High Point, Mark Barnett, Guy Cooper, and Tim Ferry. You know, David, once Travis Pastrana takes the checkered flag, he would have swept this entire event. And that'll mean that the 125s, every winner has swept the event.
Right, but it's only been 2 guys, Langston and Pastrana, who, because of Brown's misfortune at Hangtown, he's going to drop almost a whole race behind those guys. So they're clear out in front. It's a 2-man battle in this championship run. Travis will be, I think, inside a 10-point gap on Langston now. He is back in this championship. They're heading to Southwick in the next round. They get a week off. to prepare for that. Langston said a long time ago he doesn't know about these U.S. tracks, but he knows this. He will win Southwick. Travis has said the same thing, so that should be good.
Travis Pastrana on way to his 6th career 125 motocross victory. He's only moments away. You take care of the off-camber very carefully when you get that big a lead.
He's not careful about anything. He's just thinking about how many jumps are between here and the checkered flag and do a trick on. And you know what? While he watch him enjoy his final lap, he earned it. Mike Brown, a great ride into second. That's his third second place. The only motos he didn't finish second in was a DNF. So he is strong. Bad luck last weekend.
How many heel clickers? Well, we're going to do a variety here.
What a way to
and
finish
a no-hander at the checkered flag for Travis Pastrana. Pastrana, Brown, and Langston in the second moto. Danny Smith, a very fine second moto, outdoing Roderick Kane for 4th place.
I knew you grew up right down the road in Annapolis, Maryland. How does it feel to get your first professional win here at High Point?
No, it definitely feels good. I mean, all my friends and family are here, and man, the whole way around the track, I can just hear the crowd. So, man, it's just really an amazing feeling, and I'm off to a second start, I guess, here on the East Coast.
Good job, Travis.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Taking a look at the results board for the overall, it's Pastrana, Brown, and Kane on the podium. And Grant Langston, after that 10th in the first moto, came all the way back for a 4th overall. Very commending performance. Davey?
Well, Grant, same thing we said to Mike Brown. Not a good first moto, but way to come back strong the second time out.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the first moto I had a couple of problems, and obviously not the result we would have hoped for, but I gave it the best I had, and I got a 10th place, which at least it salvaged some points, and the second moto I didn't get the greatest of starts, and it's a little bit difficult to pass here, and I gave it my best. I got a 3rd, and unfortunately I lost some points today, but I just look forward to the following weekend.
It must be a little relief, however, to have a bad day and still maintain the points lead this early in the season as we look at the Suzuki 125 point standings after 3 rounds. Only a 9-point advantage, though, for Langston over Pastrana. The 125s are history. The 250s coming up next. This is brought to you by Yamaha, makers of fine motorcycles and ATVs. Nobody's more in tune with motorsports than Yamaha. 32nd board is up for the second 250 moto. Look at that line of 40 riders here at High Point Raceway.
The track's in good shape. The starting line, Art, is still pretty muddy, so once again, it's critical. Look how muddy it is.
There's Carmichael, number 4. After a bad first moto again, can he come back for the 3rd straight week and win the second moto?
He's got the speed, and I bet you he's got the motivation.
The board is sideways. There's Wyndham and Billum, and Ferry is trying to start his 4-stroke. Wyndham gets a great start, but Ferry stalled his bike at the gate. A battle now. Back and forth, it's Dowd on the outside, Wyndham on the inside. Wyndham with a nice move into the lead.
I thought he was going to go wide in that corner. He came in there hot, but just laid it over, and that bike stuck.
Wyndham, Dowd, Carmichael, Roncada, Tortelli, LaRocco. All the players get a good start, except for Ferry, who's in the mid-pack.
He's already passed quite a few riders at this point. I can't believe how far he's moved up already, but Wyndham, he's on fire right now. Look at that. Hughes gets around Carmichael.
Number 120 on the 4-stroke Honda, Ryan Hughes. Here comes Carmichael. He wants him back again. What acceleration there.
Well, the pass didn't last long, but, there's not many guys that can say they've passed Carmichael 3 times this year. But Hughes rides with the same aggression that Ricky does.
Wyndham already with about a 2-second lead on Brown. The way this race is set up, we're going to have a lot of battles throughout the field.
And the overall is going to be pretty wild, too, with Ferry finishing second in the first moto and running mid-pack right now. That opens it up for some other guys to sneak in there, like Portelli and Carmichael.
Wyndham had a 3rd in the first moto. Can he hang on and win the second moto? Look at Dowdy. Dowdy's coming back on Carmichael.
Look at Ricky take his hand off the handlebar. He pulled a tearaway. It looks like it got hung up on his thumb. and he shakes it off. Now look at it start again. Watch Ferry. He's still at the gate over there. Gets it started in 40th. And Wyndham, I don't know, he just rocketed out of there like a funny car. Got a huge gap, and there goes Ferry. Wait for me. What a bummer. Second in the first moto, a great shot at the overall. Now he's got a lot of work to do.
Ryan Hughes is in good position once again. Boy, he has had more battles. John Dowd is right behind him.
And then Villeman right in there. Ron Cotta. A little bit better start for LaRocco this time. And I have a feeling it's going to be a little tougher to get around Hughes this moto. I think he's going to be a lot more aggressive. And
well, David Villeman cutting right in front of John Dowd, and Dowd tries to come back on him. Oh, that big bore machine holding his own on the inside. Close. Here comes Villeman back again. Back and forth we go. The two-stroke versus the big 520.
I'm impressed with Dowd. You know, he jumps right back into these battles like Hughes. Both these guys sat out the whole season. They jump in here to the Nationals with everybody else already up to speed through the Supercross season. These guys just step right in and battle with these guys bar to bar.
Villeman has got good incentive. If he takes the overall here, he'd become the first rider in 8 years to win back-to-back overalls at Mount Morris. It's been a long time. David Bradshaw.
You know what I can't believe is that all the, other than Ferry, everybody that can win a moto here, all the contenders, they all got great starts. Every one of them running up front. So that's really frustrating for the guy. A guy like Wyndham got out front. Carmichael, you know, they glance over their shoulder or get the pit board and find out that they're trying to put points on somebody, and they're all right there.
And Ferry patiently is knocking off riders one by one.
Yeah, he's moving up so fast. I think he was inside the top 15 after the first lap, so he means business.
The battle for fifth once again. Look at this. Different lines. Oh! No one went down. That was a miracle.
That's the same thing Carmichael tried to do to Dowd. He got around him on the inside. Dowd squared him off. It didn't work against Carmichael. Carmichael got a lot more acceleration up the hill than LaRocco did. He's about 40 pounds lighter. That helps.
There's Dowd. LaRocco. Tortelli makes a move on LaRocco. Well, you can't count on any position right now. They're just going back and forth all over the track.
And Ferry is at the tail end of this train. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
That he was able to get through the whole pack and catch this battle. So the overall is not out of the question for him to still work his way up in the top three. They're all right there.
While we watch this interesting pack, let me tell you that Wyndham is just flying out in front. So is RC. Ricky Carmichael in second. They have such a lead on this pack. But what's interesting here, I think, David, is that these are all qualified riders, and they are setting a blistering pace themselves.
And that's the thing that's amazing for the lead that Wyndham and Carmichael have out front. It's not like you got a guy in there holding up this battle. Dowd is riding hard.
Here comes Tortelli on Dowd. Sebastian Tortelli, the points leader coming into this race.
LaRocco trying to figure out, maybe I'll try the inside, but that hasn't been working. The outside's been a better line.
David, it's like a freight train, and there's action anywhere you look on the track.
And I'll tell you, I cannot believe the progress of Tim Ferry at this point. Going up the hill right there behind LaRocco. He's moved all the way up to that position.
Villeman in third, Hughes in fourth, Tortelli, and now LaRocco makes the move on Dowd. Ferry, Roncada, Raynard, and Lust as we go down the list, but the leader is Wyndham. Welcome back to High Point Raceway. Art Eckman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs, our leader, number 14 on the Suzuki. Kevin Wyndham has been near flawless. And terrific speed, David.
Wow, he looks excellent. He's got a real shot at the overall here if it stays the way it is. I know there's going to be a lot of shuffling back here in this big group, but Kevin's doing all he can out front.
Here comes Tim Ferry. What a great turn and a pass on LaRocco.
It wasn't like LaRocco didn't hurry through the corner. Just Ferry is flying.
LaRocco tries to come back on him now. Settles in behind him through the S's.
Yeah, you heard these guys talk about it's a little bit tough to pass out there. I think Langston said that in the 125 class. They did some work on the track between modes, made it a little bit better, but still a tough track to pass on. Look at the group he had to pass, and he had to pass about 25 guys to get there. And he's still going. I mean, it's not like he got hung behind anybody, got stuck in their pace, lost his rhythm. You see him already looking over, going, all right, who's next? Look at his speed through that corner. I mean, great line choice. He's riding the way Billiman did in the first moto. He's already up to Hughes and Tortelli, reeling Tortelli in.
And he brakes so late on those fast downhills, Steve.
Yeah, his speed pretty much everywhere on the racetrack is just tremendous.
So he's already in a battle for fourth. That was after leaving the gate last.
But Carmichael wishes he could have had a moto like that. First one out, but to Carmichael's credit, he didn't have a clutch. He found out between motos, so he's coming up to 13th from last. Not bad, considering he had those problems.
So the overall's at stake as Ferry tries to pick up on Tortelli. In front of him is Ryan Hughes, number 120. Ferry making his presence felt, that's for sure. If you can't hear him, you'll see him every now and then. And here comes Tortelli making his move on Hughes.
See Billiman just going by right there. He sits in third, winning the first moto.
If Wyndham stays in first, he would have the same number of points, and he would take the overall, winning the second moto with a 3-1. But Ferry, he could upset the apple cart on this thing.
Yeah, the way he's riding right now, he's got the pace to catch those guys and change it. Carmichael could too if he could catch Wyndham, but so far he's only been able to pick up about an inch here and an inch there.
Here's Ferry once again, right behind Ryan Hughes. And of course, Tortelli out in front of these two hopes to better his position. He came into this race the points leader. Let's go down to the pit area now. Davey Coombs.
The rain may come and go today here at High Point, but the search for good vision is going to be ongoing. Since the conditions are kind of muddy, the riders are going to be taking a lot of roost back in their face. Makes it hard to see through your goggles. A lot of them choose to wear something like this. These are Scott goggles with roll-offs. Whenever you get your face roosted and you get covered with dirt, all you do is pull this cord. A couple times like that. There you have it. Good vision all over again.
While these guys were in staging, it was raining a little bit, but they've lucked out. So the vision is not that big of a deal right now, but think about Ferry. He's the one who really could benefit from that technology because he's come from last.
And Ferry's going all over the track looking for a good line to catch Hughes off guard.
I think those four-strokes. Tortelli has got to be sick and tired of having four-strokes all around him. If the AMA doesn't change the rules, he will.
A great 250 final moto underway from High Point Raceway. We'll be right back. Welcome back to High Point Raceway. Second moto 250s. Tim Ferry, who started last, just passes Ryan Hughes. A nice clean inside pass by Timmy.
You see LaRocco at the trail into that little battle there, and LaRocco's usually the guy that comes through the pack. But man, Tim Ferry has redefined that today, moving all the way to fifth from last.
Here's our leader, number 14, Kevin Wyndham. And I'll never forget the day, his first pro race. I was standing there in the rain. It was a sloppy day that day. But boy, did he look great in his first pro debut.
That was in 125, still three-digit number. He was riding a Kawasaki back then, and he led the moto to the last lap. Henry finally got around him, but Kevin likes this place. He's ridden well in this moto, but Carmichael has inched up and really put the pressure on now.
Carmichael at Glen Helen, the season's opener, after an 8th in the first moto, won the second moto. At Hangtown in round 2, after a 5th in the first moto, he won the second moto. Now he's trying to recover from a 13th place finish.
Doing a nice job. Kevin can feel him. Pace has gotten even faster. And I thought Kevin started out the moto by just distancing himself, pulling out a pretty good lead, even over Ricky. But Ricky slowly has inched his way back in this, and these guys, third is not even in sight. Billiman, who just dominated the first moto, has not been able to even come close to these guys' pace.
The chances are very good that we'll have the third different winner in 3 rounds. Back in 1999, we began the season with 4 different winners in the first 4 rounds. That also happened in 82 and 98, but that is so unusual. Look at this, Ricky Carmichael. They end up rubbing near the berm. and Carmichael takes the lead.
He took Kevin all the way wide. It takes so much nerve to go down the hill as fast as Ricky did, but he's not fooling around this time. I know he's so disgusted with the first motos he's had in this series. He's got to come back and win the second moto. Wyndham, he's got to be just blown away right now, going, how is Ricky going that fast? But if he can keep the pressure on, force Ricky to keep riding. Uh-oh, the lap rider's out of shape.
He went down, and luckily enough, Ricky was far enough behind him and already chose a line that wasn't right behind him.
Look at this pass. Kevin normally has been cutting across into the berm over there. That's what he wanted to do, but he could hear Ricky coming. All he could do was stay out of the way and keep him getting shoved off over that berm. If he'd have been out over the berm, it would take him forever to get up that hill.
Carmichael, our new leader, Kevin Wyndham in second. Villeman is still in third. Let's check in with Davey Combs in the mechanics area. He's with Chad Watts, Carmichael's mechanic. Davey?
Well, Chad, right up to that last lap, this has not been you and Ricky's best day, but you're back in front where you've been most of the season.
Yeah, the first motos are not cooperating with us due to bad starts and taking every soil sample from here to the West Coast. We're not doing too good in the first motos, but he's bouncing back in second motos and trying to make the best of it. We got to start knocking some 1-1s off next round.
Hey, how was Ricky between motos? He looked pretty disappointed when he rode off the track.
Not in the greatest mood in the world.
Well, there's the determination from Chad. Ricky and Chad both hate to lose. And he's going to get the win here, it looks like, if he can hang on, but disappointing start to the season after coming off the Supercross season on such a win streak.
And especially after such a dominating year last year. Feast or famine for number 4, Ricky Carmichael. It's feast here in the second moto. Tortelli, the points leader. He's moved up to third already.
Yeah, he just blew through that corner. I don't think he can go through it. He's going through there faster than the leaders were. But somewhere else around the racetrack, he's losing a little time to those guys. Quite the encouragement right there.
The lap rider trying to stay out of the way of the contenders. Here comes Villeman up the hill. If he stays in fourth, he's quite likely going to take the overall for the second straight year. You know, an American hasn't won Mount Morris since '98. It was Ezra Lusk at that time.
I didn't realize it had been so long since an American won this thing.
Albertine won it in '99. Then you've got Villeman in 2000.
Wow. I'll tell you what, this moto, if it's a little muddier, I think Villeman will have a lot better shot. He's still riding hard. I don't see mistakes. I don't see anything he's doing wrong, bad lines or anything. He's got to be wondering. He's riding as hard as he can. He's just losing time to Carmichael and Wyndham, and then Tortelli just got around.
Berry is riding just mistake-free, patiently. Once again, has to catch up with another group. Our next round, Southwick, Massachusetts. Hope you can join us for that telecast. Ricky Carmichael is on his way to his third moto win of the year, while his teammate Stefan Roncada, number 21, is trying to hold off a barrage by Larocco. Larocco makes the move, number 5 on the Amsoil Honda.
Just a little kick right there, heading into that corner, doesn't bother him. Larocco's had a tough day. I mean, this is 8th place we're talking about, and we're talking about Mike Larocco. I mean, he's the kind of guy that's in the top 5. And even that's a disappointment, so the day has really not gone well. He needs to get a much better start if he has any shot at the championship. He's got the talent to do it, the experience, the bike, all the stuff. These starts aren't going to cut it.
It's amazing, the veteran rider, he hasn't burned out on this sport. He's still having fun after 3 decades of 250 racing.
Really closed in on his teammate Lusk. That was no problem. Lusk had a tough day, too.
Yeah, finishing 14th behind Ricky Carmichael in the 13th position, but Ricky didn't have a clutch.
Yeah, that's the kind of day it's been for Ezra. This moto not going that much better. I mean, he had a decent start. But, you know, in his defense, he got injured right before the Vegas final round of the Supercross Series, ribs. Thought he might have broken them. So he started as Glenn Helen. You know, he was iffy. And he hasn't been able to ride and train during the week like everybody else, same intensity he would like. So he's not 100% right now.
Larocco's record is just amazing to me as far as endurance in a sport that calls on so much physical activity and mental discipline. In 1990, he placed 3rd in the 250 motocross standings. He duplicated that effort 3 out of the last 5 years, never dropping out of the top 5. And of course, 93, he won the 500 title. 94, he won the 250 crown, and he finished second in the Supercross 250 that year.
It's just amazing to me that his enthusiasm is still there, that his body is still in one piece. He's been through plenty of surgeries, and he still has his passion for the sport. And it's not like he's talking about, yeah, this is my last year, or there's no hint of that. I mean, LaRocco is still in this for another 2 or 3 years, perhaps.
I'll bet he's thinking 3 years.
I wonder what's wrong with him. I mean, it's fun, but it's wear and tear, and he has a family, and it's good to see. I like to see that, because riders coming up in the future can look at that and go, hey, you know, this isn't a short window. Guys can last a long time in this sport.
I think what really helped that longevity. Whoa! LaRocco goes down.
Just got into that rut a little hot. Ezra's going, thank God. That moves me up a spot.
I was going to say, though, I think one thing that really helped extend his career was getting his own team.
Yeah, it's a little bit more fun. Watch what happens to him. He gets into this corner a little hot. Watch the back end hop. Right out of the rut. He goes all over the front end. The front wheel's not set in that rut. It's about a foot or 1.5 deep. No chance to save that one.
Here's the guy who's out in front by miles, Ricky Carmichael.
And he has opened up that lead over Wyndham. I think Wyndham was in there going, all right, this guy looks like he's on the edge. If I can stay here and push him, maybe he'll make a mistake. But that's what everyone's been thinking all year, and Ricky makes those mistakes, but they don't slow him down. Look at that. The front end's dancing all over the place, and he just lets go of the handlebars to do whatever, clear his vision a little bit, and gets away with it. There's a lot of guys that reach up like that, and they get into a speed wobble, and it's ugly.
Last year, Carmichael setting a record for number of wins during a 250 motocross season with 9 wins in 12 races, breaking the record once held by Bob Hanna back in the 70s, where he had only 10 races that year, but 8 victories.
I had the same thing. There were 10 nationals in the 500 class a year. I won 8 in a row, and something happens to you after you win the championship, and your intensity leaves. And Brock Glover, who I had pretty much swept to that point almost every single moto, he only beat me here in the first moto, but I still grabbed the overall. He came back and beat me the last 2 races, and I think back on that and go, man, why didn't I dig and try to run the table?
I'm not sure if it was Hanna reaching back or going fishing. Once he sewed up a title, it was goodbye.
I think he just was enjoying rubbing it in, going, hey, I don't even need to be there, guys.
What a great competitor.
And, you know, now we're looking at another guy a lot like Hanna. You look at Ricky. He's got a fairly comfortable lead over Kevin right now. He may have backed off slightly. But Ricky is still riding on the edge. He doesn't care that he's got a comfortable lead. He wants that lead to be bigger.
Ricky and Wyndham passing number 37 of Blackwood Honda. James Pavolny. The race to the checkers when we return to High Point. Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road, and by Honda's Deals to Move On. Now's the time to get the world's best deals on the world's best bikes. We're back at High Point Raceway, where Ricky Carmichael is trying to salvage the day with a victory here in the second moto to finish the afternoon of racing. Surprising of sorts that Ricky Carmichael has not yet won an overall because of poor performances in the opening motos. He's come back, though, to win more motos than anyone so far in this young season. But it's surprising the fact that Ricky Carmichael ended last year in such a dominating fashion, winning the championship. He finished with 9 podiums and 8 wins, and it all started right after this race. And that's our next round in Southwick, Massachusetts. Kevin Wyndham in second place. What he's doing is putting in consistent performances, not winning motos, but landing on the podium and staying in that points race. If he stays in this position on the final lap, it doesn't go down, he will remain in second place behind Tortelli in the points race. Still, Ricky Carmichael will only be 12 points off the pace. The top 4 riders all within 12 points going into round 4.
Well, I know he's going to be disgusted with the fact that it's 3 rounds into the series, 3 totally different racetracks. He hasn't won any of them. But, you know, he's not that far out of the points lead. He's got to be happy about that.
Ricky Carmichael with the checkered flag wins the battle, but it will be Villeman who wins the war. And we've had 3 different winners in 3 events so far in 250 action.
Look at Ricky. You wouldn't think he just won this race.
Kevin Windham in second, Tortelli in third, Villeman's fourth. Good enough for the overall. And Ferry all the way back from last to round out the top 5. Let's go to Davey.
RC, way to rebound from a terrible first moto here at High Point.
Thanks a lot, Davey. I guess luck ain't on my side, but I pulled through that moto. The Bridgestone tires hooked up good off the gate, and Kevin was making me work there for a little bit, and I had to get flowing, and then once I got going, I got by him and kind of rode my own race. Pretty disappointed in myself, but you know, I believe I can get it going, so I'm going to go home and these 2 weeks off and work hard and try to go 1-1 at Southwick.
After 14 wins in the Supercross Series, it has been an inconsistent ride here in the outdoors. However, you've won the second moto each of the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, I got the best win percentage moto wins in the outdoor, but that 10-1 every weekend ain't going to cut it for the championship. And so last weekend, I know what to do. I just need to do it, and looking to be on the top podium next weekend.
David Villeman adds his name to Tortelli and Ferry with overall wins in the year 2001. Windham and Tortelli round out the podium with Ferry placing a 4th and Carmichael a 5th. Let's go back with the overall winner.
Well, David, it's been a year, but I'm proud to say welcome back to the winner's circle.
Yeah, I think the last race I won is here last year, so 1 year is a long time, and I'm very happy, and I didn't get a great start second moto, and I caught up to third, and Sebastian passed me. It was very, very fast, and I did not think I was getting the overall, and I'm very happy for that, and for all the team, they've been working really, really hard, and just very happy, and just now just keep working and working to get more in shape.
What is it about you guys from France in the mud? You always seem to do well, especially here at High Point.
Yeah, I think, it wasn't so muddy today. His second motor was like dry. First motor was kind of greasy, but, we used to that in GP, and, I don't know, we've been riding in the mud a lot, and I think we are very motivated, especially me, because, like I said, I did pretty bad this year, and very happy to finally win a race.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Well, the series might stage all 12 races in the United States, but it has become a true international series. As you see here, a Frenchman is leading the 250 class, and we've got a South African leading the 125 points race. As we take a look at the Suzuki point standings after 3 rounds for the 250 action. Still, no rider in the 250s anyway has won with a sweep like the 125, David.
And I like that. I like the fact that there's so much depth in this class now that you got a lot of mixture in the top results. But I'll tell you what, you look at the frustration from Carmichael. He's got a week off now to train. It sounds like he's going to train even harder for that Southwick round. He is determined to go 1-1 there, but I don't know if it's going to be that easy.
But our hats off here today to David Villeman, the first rider in 8 years to win back-to-back races at Mount Morris. This is Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Davey Coombs, encouraging you to join us on June 23rd from Southwick, Massachusetts for our next round. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.